for folks to get out onto the West Front here.
We should also mention the mace is brought out here. That's the symbol of power and authority. You can make the argument that is the oldest relic in the Capitol, and it's brought out under the direction of the House Sergeant of Arms. Well, it is a joint meeting, joint session after all.
So many traditions, and we have more of those wonderful videos to show you all later on, highlighting some of these traditions that take place. This is an inside view. This is another angle I don't think anybody else's cameras have.
No, that was coming from the law library door.
Coming up from the law library door.
Yeah, that was renamed the law library in 1860.
And into the crypt.
Yes, the Supreme Court used to be in that area. They moved upstairs because the Senate moved into its new chamber. It's all about space.
We've seen some exterior
Ladies
views
and
of
gentlemen,
cars pulling up.
The 42nd President of the United States, the Honorable William J. Clinton, and the Honorable
announced.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yes, every president that is in attendance and First Lady is announced.
And that's the Bushes coming through the crypt now. And down the other side of the crypt into the chute. They'll be on the platform soon, too, with the Clintons.
You know, normally we would hear the roar of the crowd for every one announced, and it is noticeably different.
I mean, I've always staggers me to imagine how Reagan's second inaugural in '85, how they had to move it into the rotunda and try to stage
7 degrees.
this massive event inside. Because you mentioned earlier James Monroe's inauguration outside. The first one to be held outdoors, and the number of people attending just, astronomically more. All right, we've got the Obamas coming through, about to enter into the crypt there.
Quite a presence that couple brings. I'm looking for his coat tomorrow.
Now that you've mentioned to me you've never seen him in a hat, I keep looking for hats.
He's been in a hat. It's just rare when he's in the Capitol building.
And all these folks we're seeing, this is their home.
Oh, very.
They have memories here going back years, familiar faces around.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 43rd President of the United States, the Honorable George W. Bush and Mrs. Laura Bush.
The Bush is coming out of the chute and onto the platform. Oh, we got a scarf slip there. You're right, that wind is picking up.
The Bush legacy, formidable. There is a tree planted to President Bush on the House side of the Capitol, and the member's name is eluding me, Lamar Smith, who had it planted. Yes, I pass by it quite frequently.
Inaugurations almost like track the history of technology in this nation. If you think about the early ones, there's no radio, no television, there's no amplification. A lot of people, I think, complained that they couldn't hear George Washington giving his speech. The first one to have amplification, 1921, Warren G. Harding. Oh, we have got the justices arriving
Executive
here.
branch.
You mean the judicial branch?
Excuse me, judicial branch, excuse me.
There's the herald trumpets.
You mentioned inaugurations. How about President Lincoln? People were within 10 feet from him.
Oh, yeah.
Soldiers with weapons.
Those are called tabards, those things that hang on their trumpets there. They have two sets. They have a navy blue and a white. So those are the navy blue that we see there on the herald trumpets. U.S. Army herald trumpets. So our justices in their robes coming down. They shoot. It's my understanding that they gather in the
Ladies
old court
and gentlemen,
chamber.
Yes. The 44th President of the United States,
together.
the Honorable Barack H. Obama and Mrs. Michelle Obama.
noticeable applause.
I hear the applause there. Very helpful to have announcers.
As a senator, I once shared the same elevator with him.
You know,
Is
I
it
got
after you?
here, I actually moved to Washington on Election Day in 2008. Came here to work at the Capitol just about a week later. And then, so my first big public event was actually President Obama's first inaugural, 2009. And my job for the day was actually to escort people to their spots, to their seats.
Oh, nice. Coming down the east staircase.
An Albert Bierstadt painting there on the
Yes.
staircase. So there is VP-elect
That
Harris.
painting that people just saw used to be in the House of Representative chamber.
And they're preparing to walk across the crypt. So that escalator you can spot at the back of the shot, that's leading down into the Capitol Visitor Center, the newest part of the Capitol complex, opened up in 2008.
December 2nd. I remember that one. Officer Goodman.
In the light brown coat.
Well, that's going to be quite a moment. Quite a moment.
Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff here, preparing to cross the crypt. Here they go. You see those sandstone columns in the crypt. So again, in the pale, light brown coat there, United States Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman. Deputy Sergeant at Arms.
Yes, for this ceremony.
Acting Deputy Senate Sergeant at Arms.
Excuse me.
Eugene Goodman. Eugene O. Goodman. Private First Class, United States Capitol Police.
Very soft-spoken gentleman. Says 4 words a week. Just
He's a familiar face to
Yes.
us and to our colleagues in the guide service. And he's a face that you all may have seen recently, and some photographs and video of the Capitol. We can hear the footsteps of VP-elect Harris coming down the stairs from the crypt. Officer Goodman, this is a walk he's made many a time, but never as part of the procession in quite this way.
don't you feel like he's on duty? It's just
You can see his eyes sort of going back and forth. Now, of course, he's seeing familiar faces all around him, but
Ladies and gentlemen, accompanying the Vice President-elect, the Chief of Inaugural Ceremonies, Maria Miller-Lohmeyer, the Acting Deputy House Sergeant-at-Arms, Kevin Grubbs, and the Acting Deputy Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, United States Capitol Police Officer Private First Class Eugene O. Goodman.
well, crescendo of applause, and we know who that's for.
yeah.
Officer Goodman. His actions more than heroic.
Oh, there we see Speaker Pelosi. And it looks like the rest of the JSIC there preparing to cross. So
Warrior in the red scarf.
we've got to spell out our acronyms. It's the Joint Congressional Committee on
Ladies and
Inaugural
gentlemen,
Ceremonies.
the Vice President-elect of the United States, Kamala Devi Harris, and Mr. Douglas Emhoff.
Vice President-elect Harris, who resigned her seat as a senator from California just yesterday, and today, very shortly, to be sworn in as Vice President.
So her office within the Capitol will move
Yes.
from her senator's office to the vice president's office.
You know, it's really
Senate
Richard
side of the
Nixon that
Capitol.
really transferred the location of the vice presidency, working towards the old executive office building.
And putting the locus of the vice president's office here at the Capitol. Because, of course, they are the tie-breaking vote in the Senate. All right, So on our camera there on the right, we can see Representative Hoyer in the red scarf, member of the Joint Committee, the JSIC, Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies. VP-elect Harris hugging her children there.
Oh, that's a moment there. Vice President.
VP
Vice
meeting
President.
VP.
Yes, Harris-elect. Vice President-elect Harris, yes.
And notice the real furniture, folks. There's folding chairs out there, but that's a real chair and a real table. And on that table, I believe, are some of the sacred texts that are going to be used today. Representative Clyburn there having a moment with VP-elect Harris.
Do I see snow?
I see snow flurries, it looks like, in this shot of Chuck Schumer.
Those are snow flurries. You notice it has gotten considerably darker
Yeah,
since.
the wind did pick up.
Well, soon to be the 46th president.
Joe
Joseph Biden,
Dr. Joe Biden
making their way.
getting ready to cross through the crypt.
Oh, wave to the camera, yes.
I can't stress enough that we have cameras in areas that you won't see on any other live stream or broadcast. These behind-the-scenes shots, this idea
The
that you can
Joint
see into the
Congressional
visitor
Committee on
center.
Inaugural Ceremonies, Staff Representative Alexandria Gordican DeChico, accompanying the House Republican leader, the Honorable Kevin McCarthy. Staff Representative Bridget Brennan, accompanying House Majority Leader, the Honorable Steny Hoyer and Mrs. Yvette Lewis. Staff Representative Kate Knudsen, accompanying Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi and Mr. Paul Pelosi. Staff Representative Lindsey Kerr, accompanying the Honorable Amy Klobuchar and Mr. John Bessler. Staff Representative Stephanie Hager Mucko, accompanying Senate Majority Leader, the Honorable Mitch McConnell and the Honorable Elaine L. Chao. And Staff Representative Rochelle Graves Schroeder, accompanying the Chairman of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the Honorable Roy Blunt and Mrs. Abigail Blunt.
So those members of the JSEC, the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, the official host of today's 59th inaugural ceremonies, we can see them there headed out onto the platform. The announcer just said the names.
Proud moment for the committee.
They've put all this together.
Not just September, well before that, the planning has gone on. And let's be honest, this has been a different inauguration and hopefully something that we won't see again for a lot of different reasons. And they've really pulled this off handsomely. There goes Senator Blunt, the former Majority Whip of the House. He's been through a few of these ceremonies. Again, this is the second time he has chaired this committee.
Yes.
There's been 5 people to chair the committee twice, and Senator Blunt would be the latest.
He spoke of this ceremony today being an assurance for all people, our continued and unbroken commitment, continuity, stability, perseverance, democracy. As we get ready to see the peaceful transfer of power, an event both commonplace and miraculous. President-elect Biden here and Dr. Jill Biden just passing through the crypt of the Capitol, soon to emerge onto the platform. We can see the back of the Obamas here on the platform. Cole and Ella, and it's snowing. Cole and Ella, VP Harris's children there. Ella is a young lady you see with the plaid coat with kind of an embellishment on the shoulders.
Ladies and gentlemen, accompanying the President-elect, the Staff Director of the Joint Congressional Committee on Inaugural Ceremonies, Fitzhugh Elder IV, the Acting House Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, Tim Blodgett, and the Acting Senate Sergeant-at-Arms, Jennifer Hemingway.
You know, snow, not unheard of in Washington in January. But you know what? When they used to have these in March, snow was also not unheard of.
Not at all.
Until 1933, inaugurations happened in March, and pretty risky in the era before paved roads.
Well, our last inauguration, we had a little bit of rain. President Trump, on our last inauguration, of course, President Obama, I think it was about 25 degrees.
The weather's always an element.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., and Dr. Jill Biden.
This piece by the Marine Band Trio from Hail America. The Marine Band known as the President's Own. They play at the pleasure of the President and the Commandant of the Marine Corps. And they've played at every inauguration since Jefferson's. Biden's approaching their seats on the platform here. Greeting former VP Dan Quayle.
Look at his eyes.
The pride.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.